Hello, you're welcome to Joy Research Blog, your one-stop blog for in-depth analysis on political issues in Nigeria and Africa and across the globe. Aside corruption and bad leadership, two factors that have contributed to the underdevelopment of Nigeria today is ethnicity and religion. Now, these two factors have played an unenviable role in almost every facet of the Nigerian life. For example, in terms of public policies, elections and voting, in terms of allocation of resources, just name it. Ethnicity and religion have become a tool, in the hands of the political class to achieve personal gains, achieve regional gains, but that is not really how an ideal society should be. Nigeria is not the only heterogeneous society in the world, but it appears these two factors of religion and ethnicity is more prominent in Nigeria. Today we'll be looking at the planned relocation of some operations of the Central Bank of Nigeria and to move the headquarters of Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos, all in Nigeria. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook, on TikTok, on Instagram, WhatsApp channel, as well as our Telegram channel. The federal government just a few weeks ago decided that they were going to move some operations of the Central Bank of Nigeria, thereby decentralizing the Central Bank, citing congestion, moving some operations of the Central Bank from Abuja to Lagos. And they also decided that the headquarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria should be moved from Abuja to Lagos. Now, the reason for this, especially for the airport, is due to the fact that the Lagos Airport, the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, is the busiest airport as far as the Nigerian state is concerned. And it's only logical to move the headquarters or to move the main operations of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, who manages all the airports in Nigeria, from Abuja to Lagos. Now, some parts of the country, from the northern part of the country, they've opposed this move. They've criticized this on the ground that it diminishes or removes northern interest. If these entities or these parastatals or public institutions are moved from Abuja to Lagos. Now, some of the opposing voice that we've had over this planned policy is the Arewa Consultative Forum, the umbrella body of the northern of the 19 northern states. They've argued that the headquarters of FAAN and the operations of CBN should be left in Abuja. And we also have the northern youths coming up to say, no, we do not want this policy to be implemented. We want all these public institutions to remain in Abuja. And we've had the northern senators, members of National Assembly, led by the chief whip, Senator Ali Ndume, saying there will be their political consequences in 2027 if the government goes ahead with the implementation of this policy. And we ask ourselves some very important questions here. Where is Lagos? Lagos is in Nigeria. And what that means is if the operations of the CBN and FAAN is moved to Lagos, simply means some people who work in these public institutions in Abuja will have to relocate to Lagos. And the Constitution, which is the ground norm, provides for freedom of movement. So what is the reason behind? Because Nigeria should be the concern. The government is not saying we are going to move these institutions to Ghana or to Abidjan or to Togo. They are moving it to Lagos, which is still in Nigeria. So what we should be looking at is what gains would it accrue to Nigeria as a whole, not just to the north? You see, this point, it simply means that all the talk about one Nigeria and all of that only exists on the pages of paper. That means within the minds of some people in Nigeria, it is only where they come from, which should not be. There are so many countries in the world who have both administrative, economic, political capital. You talk about the USA, you talk about South Africa, you talk about Cote d'Ivoire, you talk about Ivory Coast, you talk about so many countries. They have political capital, they have administrative capital, they have economic capital. That means certain operations of government should be confined within those capital. The most important thing is that the operations or whatever comes up from these public institutions is for the benefit of the entire country, not just for a particular region. Now, as a voice, there's a prominent voice that has really that is in support of governments of the government move to move the operations of CBN and the FAAN. And one of such prominent voice is the Emir Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, who was the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, a core northerner from Kano. Now, he has welcomed the move by the government to move these institutions to Lagos, considering that the bulk of what the operations is better in Lagos. Now, he has given this reason to say that the reason some northern elements are condemning this move is because they have their kids who work in these public institutions and they just want to remain in Abuja. They do not want to move to other parts of the country. In as much as I see something, this is coming from an elite view. There's nothing wrong. I think what the northern or what Nigerians should be more concerned about is if the government decides to move this operation outside the shores of Nigeria or invite people from other parts of the world to manage this public institution. I think that's where the problem should be, not its location. The most important thing is how efficient would it be if it's relocated to Lagos or to Abia or to Warri or anywhere. How efficient? What we should be more concerned about is the efficiency and meeting meeting the aspirations of entire Nigerians. I think that is what we should be more concerned about. Now, this criticism by some of the northern elites brings to bear the question of the unity of Nigeria. So it's clear to say that the entity called Nigeria or Nigeria as a country is just something that exists only on pages of paper, and people just bear allegiance to Nigeria simply because they have to use the passport, they have to say I'm a Nigerian. But what is more fundamental in the minds of these people, it's where they come from, which shouldn't be the case. Well, what happens next? We'll wait to see if the government will listen to this criticism or go ahead with this policy, considering the fact that it will benefit not just the northern elements, but the Nigeria as a whole. Let's hear your view. Do you think the government is right? Or what would you say in defense of the government? Or what would you say as a critique of this move by the government to relocate some pressures of the CBN to Lagos and to move the headquarters of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos? Once again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can drop us a message on Facebook, on TikTok, and on Instagram. Until we come your way again, remember, Nigeria is our country. Let's make it better.